Hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. I forgot to light my candle. This whole candle thing, I know we only got it for the mandel aspect of it, but I have to say, I kind of like having a candle in the background when I'm live. I've gotten used to it. Hello, everyone. My goodness. Chris, you are back. Evening. Merry Christmas to all. This is the last live stream for right now. And then Ekello was talking to me and he was like, hey, girl, you're not going to do anything crazy like New Year's Eve or anything or New Year's Day. And I was like, New Year's Day? Yes, we shall. We'll do a write-a-thon on New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, I'm celebrating Christmas with my family, but New Year's Day, I think that's game. January 1st, let's go. Right? So let me know in the comments if you like the idea of a writing sprint or writing marathon on YouTube January 1st. All right. Merry Christmas, Rob. Merry Christmas, Pamela and Zedekis and Rachel and Harper. Just calling everybody out. Thank you guys so much for coming and supporting these. It means a lot. It means a lot. And Olivia goes, hello, hello. New Year sounds great. Sounds like fun for New Year's Day. Yeah, I mean, what else are we going to do? Eat Black Eyed Peas? We can listen to Black Eyed Peas. I don't want to eat them, really. It's not my favorite thing. All right, need to get more writing done. Mary, Jamie. Evan says he just needs lunchtime with corned beef and cabbage. On New Year's Day? That's a St. Patrick's Day thing. Okay. Everybody's got their own New Year's traditions. It'll be great to share those. Did everybody get what they wanted from Santa? We tried to go over a lot of toys in these lives. So we did some productivity toys, some video toys, research toys. And then we also showed at the very beginning a toy that's coming in January, which is Plot Drive. And then the last two toys that we have are the two classes for December, the standalone classes. You can use Dean's List. The link is in your notes. Oh, Evan, you make me laugh. But at any rate, we don't have sex toys per se, but we do have the From Love to Mayhem class, which anyone in the mastermind does not need to purchase those classes. Those are classes by me, Stace, and Steph. So those are already included in your mastermind tuition. However, if you did not join that, they, sorry, I got a note from Christina. Then if you're not in the mastermind, you missed that. It wasn't what you wanted or anything like that. We are committed to bringing you at least 2 standalone classes per month, more when we have members of the FFA make classes for you in their expertise. So you'll be able to watch all of those. Hello, Roz is here. Wow, able to make it live from South Australia. Good morning to you. You're already on Boxing Day. Yeah, I do these later ones on the East Coast time specifically so the other side of the world can come in the morning. So it is hard having members of the mastermind all around the world. Like, no matter what time I'm live or whatever, somebody's unhappy. Hello, Semantic Slip. Good to see you. Okay, so this live is a little bit of a madness in the sense that I want to play with the Snowflake method, but not in the way that you think that I want to play with it. I want to give a big shout out to Carlos, who shared his notes, and he's been sharing his notes in the Discord. He was kind enough to give me some prompts that he has built for Plot Drive to work on that. And we might work with a couple of those, but I'm reading the chat and you guys are like throwing me off with the sex toys. That works. Absolutely. Boxing Day is the old-fashioned word for it. It's declared as Proclamation Day for the state back in 1906. So Proclamation Day it is. As a kid, I grew up watching it say Boxing Day on the calendar with no context of like how really classist that holiday is. As a kid, I thought it had something to do with actual like boxing. Like that was the day when you were pissed off at everybody from the holidays, you would get into fist fights and it was somehow ordained. At least that's what elementary school me thought when I looked at the calendar and it said Christmas Day and then Boxing Day the next day after. So I think it would be a better holiday if you could just fist fight whoever you wanted with no repercussions. I think that would be I would think that would be a much better received holiday. Alyssa says same. Yeah. The holiday had to do with boxing. Like, oh, Boxing Day. Okay, well, yeah. Right hook. Jab, jab. Okay. Yeah. Evan says same. No one really talked about what it was. I thought it was a physical Boxing Day as well. Yeah, you can tell who are the Americans. We had those of us who were early readers and we had no context. I had a lot of unsupervised reading at a very young age, and the result is what you have today. Anyone else, the result of unsupervised reading? Unsupervised advanced reading at a young age. Okay, so back to what I would like to do with the Snowflake method. The Snowflake method is very near and dear to my heart because it was the very first way that I could wrap my brain around fiction writing. I came into fiction writing as a nonfiction writer. I was writing SEO articles from 2007 until 2010. Around 2009, when we had our daughter, my ex was like, you should write a book. I didn't understand at the time. That was kind of like his narcissistic tendency to like, whatever I accomplished, he had to like move the goalpost. But joke's on him, I'm an achiever. So like goalpost move was like challenge accepted. So then I like published books and I was successful at that. So then of course I had to have a regular writing schedule, which that's like water torture for me. I don't like to have a regular schedule in any way, shape, or form. But I did finally accomplish that. It just so happened I accomplished it right at the time that our marriage was over. So again, goalpost moved, achievement unlocked. So at any rate, so I was coming from nonfiction where you do a lot of outlining, and I am not really as touchy-feely as I feel like I'm supposed to be for a writer. So when I first came into fiction groups, and this is the late aughts, so 08, 09, 10, 11, it was really like touchy, squishy, feely thingies, and no thank you. I needed structure. I needed to fully understand, like, how do I take a book apart? I had a minor in English literature. So I was really, really good at taking things apart, not so good at putting things back together. That's always the downside, right? Oh, I can take it apart, put it back together. No, that's a different skill. That's a different skill. Okay. But yeah, Rachel hits it on the head. Writing fiction is really not about touchy-feely for the author, unless touchy-feely for the author also happens to make it touchy-feely for the reader. The path to success is touchy-feely for the reader, not touchy-feely for the author. And we can see this a lot in books that don't sell. Authors write a book for themselves, and it's really, really niche down to like what they want. My favorite is when authors tell me it defies genre. And I'm like, it also defies sales if you're going to defy genre. Or when they tell me it's a mashup of 3 genres. And I'm like, no, you get 2. Start with 2. Once you have a career, then sure, you can do 3, 4, do whatever you want because your readers will follow you. My favorite thing at one of the conferences I was at with some authors who were still querying agents. I now understand a little bit why agents are like not really keen on taking proposals. But I practiced with some of them. At first they were like, well, you're just an indie. But then I showed them my KDP account and they were like, oh, no, wait, look, can I tell you about my proposal? And one of my favorite situations there, and it's not because this woman didn't, like she was being malicious. It was truly a source of ignorance because the publishing industry as a whole is a quagmire. Like, it's not like there's a lot of places that you can go become an expert in the publishing industry. And she's telling me about her book and she's like, I think it's LGBTQ. And I was like, why do you think it's that category? And she goes, oh, because I have a gay character in it. And I'm like, is that the main character? And she's like, no, it's the sister of the, I was like, no, No. You don't put it in that category then. And it was just like, it was like I was at a conference where everything was still in analog and I had been living in digital for a decade. So, and that happened last year. That wasn't like 10 years ago, early part of my career. That happened in this past year at one of the conferences I was at. So, it's still an industry that's in flux. And now we have this AI stuff going along. I'm seeing more and more AI adoption, discussion of it in the mainstream. Are you guys noticing that artificial intelligence is being talked about on the news more and more, less as a danger, AI is coming, but more of a, and now so-and-so is using AI and they say that it increases their productivity. Bob, let's go find out what they're doing, and then it goes to like whatever the location is and it's talking about AI in a positive light. Anyone noticing that? Am I the only one? I'll wait for you guys to put it in the comments. Chris, I agree with you. The attitude, you're just an indie. I've got words for that garbage. Listen, I thought that was going to be the worst this year at conferences. The worst was in Germany at the Frankfurt Book Fair, where I was looked down on when I would go to booths and talk to them. And they asked, like, what are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm an author. And they're like, oh, like they didn't want to talk to me about their stuff because I was an author. Because in their world, an author is one of the desperate running around like, please publish my book. Please publish my book. I'm like, please stay away from my books. I like 70%. Thank you very much. I would have done better had I known going in Germany when I went to booths. But I mean, it was my first time. Just saying that I was a small press. If I just told them I ran a small press, that would have smoothed things over immensely. But by the time I figured that out, I was on the way to leave anyway. And it was a little overwhelming. But I know it for next time. If I go back. If I ever go to the London Book Fair, I will just say I'm a small press owner. I recommend the same for anyone else going to those more traditionally oriented festivals because they don't understand what we do. They don't understand the money we make. They don't understand the businesses that we run unless we identify ourselves as like a small press runner because that's what you are. So, okay. And yeah, this is the thing. It is turning into a lifestyle story. And that's the thing. That's the news cycle. Stuff moves from be afraid, be very afraid. It might kill you. We'll have more at 6:00 to it turns into a lifestyle story. The next one will be, the next one is the scandals, by the way. That's the next news cycle that will come out in the next 6 months to 18 months. It'll be all about the scandals of AI. But Harper's noticing it too. Lissa's noticed it. I mean, I notice it when my parents are talking about AI in a positive light. Like that's when I know it's hit Fox News as like a positive thing. So, and I'm not trying to make this political. It's just they happen to watch Fox News nonstop. So that's what I hear. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Raptor Right, which is where we're going to work today, and take a look at the Snowflake method. Now, I don't own the Snowflake method. I don't know what Randy Ingram Mason even thinks about AI. So it's not so much that I want to take his whole process and like run it through AI. I don't know what I want to do is going to work. So we'll talk about it when I get there, but I'll give you the sneak peek. Has anyone, I feel like it's common sense. So I'm just going to ask it. And I'm sure all of you have probably already done this. How many people have gotten that narrative thing where each sentence is a scene, each paragraph is a scene in the book or whatever, or a chapter in the book. And you just highlight that chapter because the rest of the stuff is in the context too. And then you basically say, make a plan to do that. So it's like a different kind of, like, we're going to try to use the narrative as like an outline. It's not an outline, if that makes sense, and see if that helps the AI write better. What are our thoughts about this process? Or is this a dumb process? So we're going to attempt to use Rexi's revise functionality, kind of hack it a little bit. Okay, I got Alyssa, excellent idea. Okay, good. I've never tried it. Okay. I was like, am I going to be doing something that's so stupid? Like this is dumb. And if you have tried this, I want to hear. I have no idea if it's going to work. Famous last words, right? And we'll try a variety of models to make this work. So, okay, Evan did it. They did an age gap Insta kind of like this. Rachel says, try it, break it, learn from it. Yes, that is our mantra. We should have t-shirts with that. Rick says, I ask for outlines in paragraph form sometimes. Ursula says, no, this is a good idea. Try it. And then Lissa says, I've only done the funnel method so far. So start really broad and narrow down to scene. Yeah, we're going to kind of do that too. So it's going to be a little hacky. Okay, so let me go ahead and present. I don't know if he wanted me to share his stuff. So, but I have his stuff right handy because he has some prompts, Carlos stuff right handy. But we're going to go to the source because I think that this is really, really important for this particular exercise, because I'm going to talk about his process and what parts we're going to not use, because there's actually a part of the Snowflake method I never do. Hint, it's about the characters. I'm not a character driven writer. I'm a plot driven writer. Know who you are and rock it. Yeah, he put it in Discord, but that's not the same as saying I would like it on YouTube, please, Elizabeth. So, okay. So we're going to share the window to the wall. I may have been listening to some Little John before coming on. But it wasn't that song. It was a new song, but it tricked me. It's the Pitbull Little John song. I think it is. But it's jump in, not jump around, but it's jump around by, so it's like bum 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 bum, and then I'm like, yeah, okay, we're gonna jump, and then no, it's Pitbull singing. So it got me, and now I feel really old that all of these oh, Carlo is here. Okay, so he does not mind. Yes, House of Pain. Yeah, I thought it was that song. No, they sampled it. And now we're really old and they're sampling our songs. So on that note, let's go to Snowflake Method. So Snowflake Method is fantastic. He also wrote the book, Writing Fiction for Dummies, which is one of my favorite writing books of all time. If you are someone who like, just give me the recipe, just give me the formula, I write according to plan. And so he does say like you can design it, which is a nicer way of saying hard coding it. But yeah, so it's like this fractal idea that if you start at the middle and then you slowly add to it and you slowly add to it, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So the first, and he even says like, this isn't just his work. It's built off of a bunch of other work from other people. There's a book about it. I highly recommend it. Shorter is better. So like this, take an hour to write a 1-sentence summary of your novel. So I'm going to go to RaptorWrite, and we are going to clear out this mess here. This is from before. So I will just make a new document and delete that one. Delete. All right. So this is going to be Snowflake Method. Kinda. I'm just going to put kinda there because I think he might have it trademarked. I'm not really sure if he has it trademarked or not. Probably. My guess would be yes. But the idea that you would have an elevator pitch and then grow from that, it's not 100% like the only way to do, like the only book to ever talk about this. So let's go ahead and say, first, let's go ahead and clear out my prompt. Okay, it's still cleared out from earlier, so we're good there. And I'm going to say, write me 3 1-sentence premises for a I'm trying to think of a project that I need to do. I'm going to try actually doing an F1 this way, an F1 romance this way. The reason being is because I want to see, this is something that I'm struggling with about like trying to get all of the good information in there. And it's one of those book projects that I really need a robust outline for. So that's the one that I'm going to start off. I'm going to do. So for an F1 romance novel. Okay, now we get to pick which model we're going to use. Now, there's the Gemini thinking. Let's see what, I'm going to see what the Gemini thinking one can do, just to see if we like it. For romance, so it's actually thinking a little bit. There's only one bed, less likely in a novel, but a source of tension. Okay. So here's the 3 ones we have. 2 fiercely competitive championship rivals. So you could just start with 2 championship rivals, find their animosity turning into undeniable attraction, threatening their careers and the fragile balance of their teams. This would be good for an MM. A driven but emotionally guarded star driver finds himself falling for his brilliant, no-nonsense new race engineer, a connection that could cost them both their jobs if discovered. I like that one too. And then we have the playboy driver unexpectedly falls for a sharp-witted sports journalist who initially despises his arrogance, forcing him to confront his carefully crafted, perfect public persona. I'm going to save these last 2 because I like them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in a new document and just call these premises that we're going to work with for right now, because I don't know. I really want a more unique one. Both of those are pretty generic to me. And we're going to try a different model. So we're going to close all that out. I know I'm throwing away words. It's horrible. Let's see what Claude Sonnet's got for us right now. So we'll go 1024 just to see what it can do. Okay. I'm going to thumbs it up. A retiring F1 legend takes on mentoring an up-and-coming driver only to discover an unexpected attraction that forces him to reconsider hanging up his racing gloves for good. I like 3. 3 sounds to me like it's going to have enough meat to it. Not that I don't want him to be falling in love with the up-and-coming driver. I want him to have this unexpected attraction that's forcing him to, think about life after racing. So I think this is the winner for me. To me, this has enough meat to it that we can play with it and have some subplots and things like that. So I'm going to grab that. I don't know. I don't think we're going to say retiring. I'm going to say an F1 legend takes on mentoring an up-and-coming driver only to discover an unexpected attraction that forces him to reconsider hanging up his racing gloves for good. If you look up how many words this is 27 words. A good one is only 15 words. So an F1 legend mentoring an up-and-coming driver discovers, so this is where you can tighten it up. The goal is to get it to 15 words. Discovers an unexpected attraction bam. So it's great to have that flowery language. And even there, I got it at 17 words. So an F1 legend mentoring an up-and-coming driver discovers an unexpected attraction, makes him consider retirement from racing. So there we go. Now we need to expand this into a paragraph. So this is where your revise function is really going to work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this a premise. And this is where you're kind of pantsing and you're kind of working with the tooling that you have. Because if I highlight this and I right click and I click revise, now I can say, expand this to a paragraph of story, beginning, middle, and end. And the attraction is to another character, not the up-and-coming driver. So we can later add subplots. So I'm going to click submit. And this is what I mean by you can actually play with that revise prompt to do the steps of the Snowflake method. Okay, so I'm going to right click and keep all. So that's going to be a big thing about this method. Maybe I want to consider a couple of them. The seasoned. I'm just going to say seasoned. Seasoned F1 champion Marco Veloci had seen it all on the track, but mentoring young prodigy Liam Swift was a new challenge. As he guided Liam through the intricacies of high-speed racing, Marco found himself increasingly distracted by Sophia, the team's brilliant engineer. Her passion for motorsports and innovative designs. I think it's going to be Liam's brilliant engineer. Okay, new brilliant engineer. Her passion for motorsports and innovative design sparked something in Marco he thought long extinguished. Caught between his dedication to Liam's career and his growing feelings for Sophia, Marco began to question his place in the racing world. The season progressed with mounting tension both on and off the track as Liam's skills improved dramatically under Marco's tutelage. The veteran driver realized he was approaching a crossroads. In a dramatic finale at the championship race, Marco made the difficult decision to step away from racing, choosing to pursue a future with Sophia and continue mentoring the next generation of drivers from the pit wall. It's okay. I think we need to ratchet up the drama. So I'm just going to highlight it. And again, we're going to click revise. And I'm going to say, okay, ratchet up the drama and specific stakes. How about Liam is a reserve driver and racing in F2? And at the end of the story, he petitions for Liam to take his seat so he can retire and be with Sophia. Higher stakes. So I'm going to click submit. Seasoned F1 champion Marco Veloci has seen it all on the track, but mentoring young prodigy Liam Swift, a promising F2 driver in the team's reserve, was a new challenge. As he guided Liam through the intricacies of high-speed racing, Marco found himself increasingly distracted by Sophia, the team's new brilliant engineer. Her passion for motorsports and innovative design sparked something in Marco he thought long extinguished. Caught between his dedication to Liam's career and his growing feelings for Sophia, Marco began to question his future in F1. The season progressed with mounting tension both on and off the track as Liam's skills improved dramatically. The championship on the line, an emotional meeting with team management. No, thumbs down. We're going to try this again. I need to give the instructions. It has to stick to one paragraph still. So this is revise. Stick to one paragraph. Submit. Innovative designs, shared passion. Torn between his commitment to Liam's career and growing connection to Sophia, Marco's focus wavered, affecting his own performance on the track. Yes, with the championship on the line and whispers of retirement circulating, Marco realized he was racing towards a life-changing decision. In a dramatic turn of events at the season's final race, Marco made the boldest move of his career. He not only secured the championship, but also shocked the paddock by announcing his retirement, petitioning the team to give his seat to Liam for the next season. Daring choice allowed Marco to pursue a future with Sophia while ensuring his prototype shot at F1 glory, forever altering the landscape of the sport. I like it. So I'm going to thumbs it up. And now I'm going to highlight this and click revise because this is a paragraph. And I'm going to say, rewrite this story with the big stakes and adding in characters from Sophia's position as the main character. Because I'm writing a romance, I'm going to need both of these. This is one of the different things that they don't teach you in Snowflake. That when you're trying to do this, you need to basically tell the same story from 2 points of views. So we know Marco's stake and we know Marco's problems, but we don't know Sophia's story problems. So I'm going to right click and keep all so I can kind of look at these things. Oh, wait a minute here. Okay, there's too much here, so I need this right here. Click revise, and I'm going to say one paragraph. The story stakes from as if Sophia is the main character. Submit. And let me check the chat. Sorry, guys. I know I've been like hammering for a little bit without you guys. Okay. Okay, I have to put a script into Plot Drive. Perfect. Usually fully fleshed out. Amish science fiction. Very, very excited to try this. Start yesterday. And yeah, I'm using Claude, which is not my favorite model to use. I should probably change to a different model. And Ekello says hello to everyone from Christmas dinner. Why can't it be a relationship between Liam and Marco? It can. That's just not what I'm going to write for the main pen name that I'm doing for Sydney Marsh. So we would have a different pen name for MM romances. Sydney Marsh is just contemporary romances, male, female, as far as what the pen name is doing. Liam's story for book 2. Exactly. Olivia goes, let's make it a threesome. You guys, sure, you can do all of those things with your book. I'm just trying to get a Snowflake methodology going with AI. Oh, I love you all. Okay. So we have this new one. I'm going to thumbs it up so that it's the different one. So here we have Sophie Reeves, a brilliant engineer in F1, finds herself at the center of a high-stakes dilemma as her innovative designs revolutionize the Veloci racing team. Whoa, wait a minute. Why? Marco Veloci. No, it's got to be a different racing team is the name. Let's go with I need an object. I need something. Inspiration. Yankee Candle. No. Campfire Cocktail. No. Log Cabin Flannel. No. What do I got? What do I got here? McCullough. There we go. It's like McLaren, but it's McCullough. There we go. Caught between her growing connection with seasoned champion Marco Veloci and her belief in young reserve driver Liam Swift's potential, Sophia must navigate personal, professional, all that stuff. Rumors of corporate espionage swirl and rival teams attempt to poach her talents. Sophia faces a crucial decision that will not only shape her career. Okay. And maybe stop dating. The championship driver. Marco. There we go. So we'll add that. Okay, so we have this, we have the premise and we kind of have like what's going on here. We have enough stuff beginning, middle, and end. Let me check the chat. So, Boyardee. Thank you, Panini. Team Racing Boyardee. I love it. Yeah. So this is something here. No matter how hard I try to write a marketable book, I always end up doing something out there. My culinary cozy mysteries dual point of view because there's a sapphic romance subplot. So I think what you have to kind of do in that situation, if you're going to be dual point of view because there's a subplot, why can't it be the main plot? Or are you purposely trying to like branch out and just make sapphic romances normalized inside of the cozy mystery world? So, oh yeah, no worries, Lillian, no worries. I just didn't want you to think that like in the FFA, we actually did do the other night, last week, we did a whole F1 romance outlining exercise and everything like that. I have no problems with that. I think that would sell. Just for this particular project, I'm sticking with male, female, although I really want to do like a whole series of books, like 13. So maybe we'll have some MM in there. I mean, why not? You know, why not? Scares the hell out of me to try to write it, but why not? I've written other things that I've never experienced. Okay, so it says expand that sentence into a full paragraph, the story setup, the major disasters, and the ending of the novel. This is the analog of 3 disasters plus an ending. So what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to grab both of these and see if we can't get a revision So revise. I'm doing a revision so that it's part of the prompt. So I have all that stuff, but I'm going to keep saying keep all, so I'm not replacing it. And I'm going to say write out a full story narrative that will eventually, narrative summary. I'm sorry. That will eventually be a novel with dual point of views of Marco and Sophia. Please make sure to have 3 disasters and 1 happy ending for both characters. And some disasters, such as their relationship, can overlap. All right, so I'm going to click submit. Let's see what we get. It's tricky to try to get the AI to write something that's not full of marketing fluff, and it's actually like good material for everything. So Marco Veloci, a seasoned F1 champion, finds his world turned upside down when he meets Sophia Reeves, a brilliant new engineer for his team. As Marco mentors Liam Swift, a promising F2 driver in the team's reserve, he can't help but be drawn to Sophia's innovative designs and a shared passion for racing. She is thrilled to be working with Marco, but soon finds herself caught in a web of professional and personal challenges. She develops groundbreaking designs for the team. She has to navigate the cutthroat world of Formula One while grappling with her growing feelings for Marco. Disaster strikes for both when Marco's performance on the track begins to suffer due to his divided focus between mentoring Liam and his budding relationship with Sophia. She becomes the target of Corpian espionage, with rival teams attempting to steal her designs and poach her talent. Receives a tempting offer. So they're trying to figure out, now threatens to derail both of their careers. The second disaster unfolds during a crucial race when one of Sophia's designs malfunctions, causing Marco to crash. The incident not only jeopardizes Marco's championship hopes, but also casts doubt on Sophia's abilities. With their professional and personal lives in turmoil, Marco and Sophia decide to end their romantic involvement, focusing instead on salvaging their careers. Third disaster, a complete breakdown in communication and trust between them, affecting team morale. However, as the final race approaches, Marco and Sophia realize they must put aside for the good. They collaborate on a risky strategy that not only secures Marco's championship, but also validates her innovative approach to engineering. The happy ending comes as he makes the bold decision to retire, recommending Liam as his replacement. Sophia declines the offer from the rival team and stays with McCullough Racing. With the professional life settled, Marco and Sophia reconcile, finding a way to balance their personal relationship and their passion for the sport. Together, they embark on a new chapter, with Marco taking on a mentorship role and Sophia continuing. Yeah, this is like, holy crap. That's the first time I've ever seen it do a full story. Like, I'm going to the chat for that one. What the what? Am I the only one shocked by this, that this worked? I have not seen the AI like grasp and like come up with good stuff, beginning, middle, and end like that, with the competing, like usually when you try to explain they've got to break up, it's like, and they broke up, but there's no reason for the breakup. There's no like justification for the breakup. It's like, and they broke up. Or it'll come up with crap that's like, oh, and he talked to his ex-girlfriend. It did tend to forget one of the characters. It kind of forgot Liam, but Liam's a side character. So Liam's going to be like the little puppy dog in there. And then Liam gets booked too. Why not? But yeah, thank you, Liz. So that was impressive and not bad. It usually takes several passes, which we did do. We did do several passes, just in a different way than we normally do. I'm using the revise function to expand and keep all. That's the big secret. I'm not thumbsing up or thumbings down. I'm doing keep all. So the methodology was the one sentence premise, get one main character's paragraph. Then if you're writing a romance, make sure you get the other characters. Like, the other character has to have just as much story. They can't just be set dressing for the story of the other main character. Or we make Liam very, very lonely and sad and drag him to be the last of the series because everyone is rooting for him. Poor Liam. Poor Liam. No, when Marco has the crash and he gets hurt, Liam should race for him. So this is the fun part now. this is the part that we get to move on to. So let me go back to sharing my screen. Okay. And if you were doing Snowflake, we basically are at step 2, where we have this each sentence to a full paragraph. Okay, high level. Yeah, we're skipping number 3 right now. I don't do number 3. I do number 4. Number 4 is the large scale structure. And this is the one that you have a lot of fun, and it's the one-page skeleton of your novel. It's okay if you can't get it all into one single space page. What matters is that you're growing the ideas. And now major character, no. And now it wants a 4-page synopsis. Basically, you will be expanding each paragraph from step 4 into a full page. This is a lot of fun because you're figuring out the high level logic of the story. So this is where I'm going to save this as it is. So this was premise, and then this was kind of like step 2-ish. And down here is where I have, I think this is close to a 1-page summary. A 1-page summary should be about 250 to 400 words. And if I highlight this, we are right on 413 words. So we are right there. And we can start to see how this is going to expand. Now, if you're going to something that is 4 pages, 4 pages single spaced, you can just word count. A typical 4-page single-spaced document would contain around 2,000 words, 500 per single-spaced page. So we're right on track there. Sorry, I'm going all over the place here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to come into the new project, and I'm going to make a new document and paste it in. And this is, we're going to call this 4-page summary is what I have to get to. So I need to kind of somehow think about looking at this. And the key thing is, like, when you highlight to edit, to revise, let me do the preview prompt. You'll be doing a revision of the text within the passage. You will only include text, not tags. So here's the passage. And then additional instructions will be available. And that's what's in the box. So for this one, I have to do something a little bit differently. There's really, so this is where there's a limitation on Raptor, but there's not going to be this limitation on Plot Drive. And I'm really excited about this. With the revise prompt, there's really no way to put in the rest of the document. Oh, wait, unless you toggle it on. So if I toggle it on and I highlight this information here, and now I click the revise button, you'll see that actually the entire passage is there, and then it says the end, and then this is the passage that you're going to edit. So there we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to click revise, and now I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say, okay, we are slowly expanding this to a 4-page summary, or to a 2,000 word. I need this section, the passage, plot information and characters added, to put some story here for the intro part of the novel. The first disaster has not happened yet, but you can foreshadow it by adding in a scene to show Marco dedication to Liam's F2 career. And an engineering meeting at McCullough Racing. We're going to need team principal named and some other characters, such as Marco's teammate. Okay, so I'm just going to click submit. I'm going to copy that first of all because that was a really long prompt, and click submit. So I've given instructions on how it has to be expanded. Team principal Elizabeth Thornton sees potential in the young engineer's idea. Alex Moretti is skeptical of change. Okay. Things in large part. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and keep that. So, and see where we are. Things in large part to the mentorship. The young driver's success fuels speculation. Okay, yeah, so this is good. This is really, really good. And that's 300 words. So now we're doing well. And that's perfect. So as Liam's progressing, that leads right into the disaster. I'm so happy. Okay, so this section right here, I'm going to grab, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to right click and click revise. I need this section, the passage, to have more plot information and characters added to put more story into for the part of the novel. This will later bridge to Marco not doing well. Remember, the racing season stretches from March to December. So this part of the story should cover maybe summer, early summer. Submit. Podium finishes by early summer. Marco's mentorship, and as he shares valuable insights. As the European leg of the F1 season, he finds himself increasingly distracted. He efforts to balance his own racing career and nurturing his relationship with Sophia. During the Monaco Grand Prix, a race he's won multiple times before, he makes an uncharacteristic error in qualifying, relegating to a mid-pick start. Woof! Her innovative designs catch the attention of rival teams. At the Spanish Grand Prix, she notices suspicious activity around the McCullough garage and becomes convinced that corporate espionage is at play. She catches a photographer from a competing team attempting to take close-up shots of their car's undercarriage. The team principal, Victoria McCullough, calls in. We already had Elizabeth Thornton, so we're going to have to resolve those two. I like the idea of Victoria, the daughter, because then it's like Williams and McLaren put together. Tensions run high and finds herself under scrutiny despite being the victim. As June continues to decline, he struggles with tire management. He finishes outside the points. The press begins to speculate behind his slump. She works tirelessly on a new front wing design. However, the stress of the espionage industry strain her relationship. The first disaster. Okay, so I'm going to thumbs that up, and I'm going to make some tweaks to it. They have a late night thing, early summer. His efforts to balance his own career. I feel like this is in there twice. Adding another layer. Team principal. I like Victoria McCullough, so we'll do that. And then we'll change this to Victoria. Oh, no, that's team principal. We will have team owner. So let's make Elizabeth a male. I don't like to have books with my name in it. I need George Thornton. That works. And then we'll have the team owner The team CEO, Victoria McCullough, calls an emergency meeting for the address the security breach. Perfect. Mentorship of Liam as a distraction. Prove her worth and loyalty to the team. Works tirelessly on a new front wing. Okay. So this is what we have to resolve right here. It's going to be the new front wing. Revise. All right. The second disaster part of the novel. This will later bridge. Okay. This is right before the summer break. Marco will crash and be injured, and Liam will have to replace him. Minorly injured. Minorly. Concussion. But it's drama because Marco wants to race, and politics means that George, because he's like a new George Thornton, the new team principal, wants to see Liam race, and Liam will have to replace him. During the summer break, that should be idyllic romance and starts off that way. Turns sour when Sophia explains that she is getting offers from other teams, and it might be best if she considers that because they can't date together. And it turns into an argument about what they need to do, with Marco thinking it can all just stay the same, and Sophia believing that Marco doesn't understand. Her career can't be defined by who she is effing. Go. We'll see if Claude throws a fit. All right. Sophia's revolutionary front design, but whispers of Corpian astronauts have everyone on edge. Okay. Slipping during practice. New front wing suddenly fails, sending Marco's car careening at Stowe Corner. It's violent. Demanding answers about the wing's failure. The incident not only jeopardizes Marco's championship hopes, but also casts a shadow over her reputation and team's integrity. He's diagnosed and says he'll be ready for the next race in Hungary. But the medical team and Thornton have reservations. Sensing an opportunity, Thornton suggests that Liam Swift step in as a replacement, much to Marco's frustration. The Hungarian approaches. He fights to prove his fitness. She works tirelessly to identify the cause of the wing failure and clear her name, fueling speculation about Marco's future with the team. He announces that Liam will indeed replace Marco. A rift with Sophia caught in the middle. They retreat to a private villa in the south of France, offering them a chance. However, the peace is short-lived. One evening, they share a quiet dinner. She brings up offers, bitter about being sidelined, reacts defensively. He argues that they can make things work as they are. Escalates. So what, you're just going to leave? Yeah, I like it. We'll leave that there. And now, this is the last part that we are going to expand, and we're going to need Marco to make a big part. So we're slowly expanding this. I need this section, for the last disaster and happy ending. Make sure Marco makes a huge overture to make it up to Sophia. And Sophia should figure out who was sabotaging her at McCullough. And when she takes the proof to Victoria, nothing is done. No, she's supposed to stay with McCullough. At first. Because instead, I'm going to have it be the new team principal. George Thornton's orders, because he didn't like Sophia sleeping with Marco. Setup. And after the championship and grand gesture and Marco's retirement, Victoria will call Sophia into her office and tell her George has been sacked. Does Sophia think she can step in as interim team principal? Go. Yeah, that's a good happy ending. And again, Marco's not saving her. Sophia's saving herself. This is stuff that I care about. Struggles with his performance, caught in the middle of the Cold War. The young driver finds himself torn between Marco and admiration. In a moment of clarity, they realize they must put aside their personal issues for the good of the team. They agree to a tense meeting where they professionally discuss a risky strategy, a pit stop routine with nail-biting precision. Executes the strategy flawlessly. He crosses the line, championship title. He calls explaining the Crochet Whirl. Following the championship celebration, he makes the bold decision to retire. In a press conference that stuns the racing world, he announces his retirement and recommends Liam for his replacement. Sophia initially, she seems hesitant. I'm going to thumbs this up, but I'm going to then highlight it and tell it to fix the order. So revise. Fix the order so that before the championship, it's clear who is sabotaging her. And Sophia takes it to Victoria. And then Marco wins and grand gesture, including later private proposal of marriage in the garage. And then everyone comes out to celebrate, since that is where they first spent all that time together. And then, as Sophia is happy with Marco, and getting ready for the holidays. She gets a video call from Victoria. They get a video call. Yeah. Marco assumes it's for him. And Victoria says, no, you stay retired. But Sophia, George, I am in desperate need of a brilliant team principal. There we go. So yeah, it can fix that. Let me check the chat. With this wrench ID wed. I love that, Rachel. I do. That's why I don't like books. Like, you don't like books with your name, but you write Jaff. I know. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's an issue I have. For future books, the idea of two racing teams merging is good, as it creates all sorts of problems for conflict. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, might change to Marco for clarity. And with this wrench ID red. Okay, so let's see what we've got. With their professional careers and turmoil, so they're breaking up. It's eggshells. She immerses herself in work. She notices sabotage. She starts it. She realizes that it's the George Thornton as the mastermind behind the sabotage. She's betrayed. She takes her findings to Victoria. Victoria seems hesitant to act, leaving Sophia frustrated. Victoria's apparent inaction is a calculated move to gather more evidence. As the final team of the season approaches, they realize they have to put aside their professional issues. Oh, they're going to kiss. Like, there's going to be like a kiss. So a tense meeting and then a kiss. Okay. During the race, their plan unfolds with nail-biting precision. In a heart-stopping finish, he crosses the line. He makes a grand gesture. He calls Sophia to the podium, acknowledging her crucial role in the win in front of the world's media. This public, okay, so yeah, because they can kiss before the race and then they kiss after the race, and I think that that's good. A heartfelt apology and a marriage proposal. She accepts. The entire team bursts in to celebrate both their championship victory and the couple's engagement. Bold decision. Yeah, I think it's going to be later for the proposal. Like, I'm going to flip it around. Because I think that it should be like after he retires and when he's like cleaning out for the last time, and then he's going to propose. Yeah, I like it. So I'm going to do this. Okay. A week later, Ekello Racing just like that first night they had a spark. Marco surprises Sophia with a heartfelt apology. And a marriage proposal. Working. Sophia turning away from him as he talks about their life together. Saying, oh, right, with this wrench, I thee wed. And she turns around and sees he is not laughing. He is on one knee with a ring. All right. There we go. I worked it in. I liked that idea. So there you go. Rachel, there's your idea. With this wrench, I thee wed. So it's like a joke. No. So here's how the hierarchy goes. It goes mechanics, okay, and like engineers. So like in this case, Sophia's like the aerodynamic engineer. And I want her to be kind of like further along in her career. So she's in her mid 30s, that she's moving up. And then your team principal is the person who's calling all of the shots. So they're usually a race engineer, but anyone can become the team principal that like had a big role. But most of the time it is a head engineer for a driver that becomes a team principal, but not all the time. Sometimes it's the head of strategy. Sometimes it's the head of like in Gunther's case, he was a head mechanic. He wasn't. He was the team principal for Haas. So the team principal reports directly to the CEO of the team. So that's the hierarchy. So you have CEO, team principal. So Sophia would be directly underneath the team principal's purview. I see solvent and chemical lubrication subtext in the future. All right, so let's see if we got it. Let's see if we got at least 2,000 words. I think we did. 1797. I think we can go there because we can always come up with more scenes as we go. So we now have our 4-page summary. And now what it has you do is like once you have a 4-page summary, and this is a lot of fun. So you would take time playing with it. We would go ahead and make our characters and stuff. And this is where he's like, you should go ahead and send that off and like try to get it sold. You're going to need to make a list of all the scenes to turn that story into a novel. And the easiest way to make that list is with a spreadsheet. So I'm not going to do a spreadsheet. I mean, I could. So what I'm going to do is, because this is a lot of words, I'm going to go slowly. Basically, let's see what we can do here. How can we do this inside of Raptor Write? I'm already thinking about how much easier some things are going to be with Plot Drive, because I can just I really like the buttons and like the different things that I'm going to be able to do with that. So I'm going to go with the new document, and then this is going to be scene list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed it a little bit at a time, I think. So I'm going to copy this section. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to say, this is the narrative summary of a novel. I need you to turn this into a list of not less than 10 scenes. I'm not going to use Claude for this. I'm going to use OpenAI. We've been using Claude for all of that. I think 4.0 is going to be the best one for this particular task. Let's see if it can do that. Certainly, here's a list of key scenes. So, meeting Sophia. She entrance takes up the team. Marco arrives late. Late night work session. Liam's rise. The Monaco distraction. Wait, how are you getting all that crap? Oh, my bad. Guess what I still have turned on? No. Ruh-ruh. Turn off your summary, Elizabeth. There we go. We need just for this section to be 10 scenes. Marco's skeptical teammate resists the change. Arriving late. Earning Elizabeth. Did I not change Elizabeth? Oh, there's Elizabeth. So whoever that is. It should be George's. Okay, so let me thumbs that down because we almost have it. So George. What is the name of the teammate? Because I think like Alex Moretti. Okay, Alex. We need more Alex in the story. Marco arrives. Working late into the evening. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to thumbs it up. And then I'm going to highlight this. They kiss. Yeah, we'll figure this out. Let me go ahead and highlight these and right click, revise. Oh, wait. No, turn that off. Go away. No, stop it. Go away. Turn on the scene list so I can see the rest of it, and then highlight these, revise. And I'm just going to say, make this more romantic so that it's understanding it that way. Okay. All right. So I'm going to thumbs it up. And now I'm going to highlight these and I'm going to say, right click, revise. And I'm going to say, keep the gist, make changes only so that each scene can be told from either Sophia's point of view or Marco's point of view. Label as such. So there we go. And it's okay that it's got Sophia twice. That's what I wanted. So she's fighting with Alex. So you don't really know who she's going to be with. Okay, so I'm going to thumbs that up. And so we have that. So that's the narrative summary. And now I can come over and get the rest of it. So that was up to that one. So faces challenges of her own. So that's going to be the next part there. Let me kind of divide this so that I know and make sure I've got even parts. Okay, as June approaches. Damage control. Professional. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here. Euphoria of victory. And then all of this stuff. Like that's kind of like the epilogue stuff. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. 5. Okay. So this next part here, I'm going to say another. Yeah, I mean, we can have like 60 scenes. I can always cull scenes if I want to, but 60 scenes at 1,000 to 1,500 words each, that's fine. Okay, so coming back to the scene list. Here is the rest. Here is the next chunk of story. Please add romantic scenes to, and make a list of at least 10 more scenes. And then it's like, here's the list. And so now we're at the bottom here. And so now we're at number 11. And it should just continue with 11. Okay. Oh, it wants Liam's perspective. Thumbs down. You may only use Marco or Sophia for point of view. Okay. Struggle at Monaco. I feel like Monaco needs to be more scenes. Okay. I think you guys get the gist. We've been at this for over an hour. I will continue with it, but this is the methodology, I think, that does work for kind of translating it into a more robust outline. I see a lot of people have to put their kids to bed and things like that. So what do you all think? So there we go. I'm stuck. There's no deadline as such without AI in the past. Okay, hello. Fiction story for a magazine. Yeah, just make a lot of edits. They actually have it. Oh, you set the length to 512. That would explain why it was stuck too. Asking for a structured list that we can consult it to CSV later. Absolutely. You can take that list I could take the whole list. I can take it to ChatGPT and it can turn it into a CSV file for me. Absolutely. Yeah. Can't the AI make a spreadsheet of scenes? It absolutely can, but not inside of Raptor Okay. More. Farhan, I would recommend that you grab our free class, the Intro to AI Writing with AI. It's free. It's like 2 hours of content, and it's going to walk you through how to write with AI. Or you can watch some of our YouTube videos for sure. Rachel says, I think it's a great way to build an outline from a simple premise. Surprise, use a Snowflake. Can't wait to try it with this method. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to use this and different ways to use the tools. I agree, Roz. Alyssa says, seems cool, but now how do I process but how I do my process so wouldn't be a method I do beyond for the funsies. Yeah. I want more hands-on with my scenes. Once I get my scenes figured out and it's like solid, then I want to like take this and turn it into something and put it into Rexy 2.0 and like run it as a sequence and everything like that. So Beverly says she likes the way of getting both point of views without some perspectives and motivations being skipped or lost. Yeah, and here's the thing. I could start writing this book right now. I have enough to just start writing. And my personal process, like when I was writing before AI, I would start writing and then sometimes the story would change. So for me, this is like a planting method where I have that 4-page summary. I know the big 10,000 foot view, but if I come up with more stuff as I'm writing the book, I can just inject it. So I feel like this is a really easy way. We only worked for an hour. In an hour, I have a much stronger beginner, middle, and end than I have had from a lot of different outlines and stuff that I have run. I don't know how many times I've stood up here in front of you guys, and been like, well, that ending sucks and I'll fix it later. I think that story's solid as it is. Like, I would start writing it. New things are going to come up, different characters. But yeah, I think that I could pants with this. Maybe it gives me a project to do over the holiday season because I like it. I think this is the best one I've done so far of like an actual storyline that I care about. And I can create all these extra characters and things like that and mention other drivers that then can go get their own story. So, and I think that this is the way to start. And then I just get going with my F1 series. What do you guys think of the storyline? Do you think that it's a good stakes storyline? The idea of this young rookie driver who might replace the retired driver. I mean, these are storylines that are in Drive to Survive and all of that. We're just adding in the romance, which is not in Drive to Survive. I do need to work on the romance aspect of it. That's one thing I think is missing from the storyline. But for me personally, I can't stand romances where these people don't seem to have real lives. I like to start with the real life part and then like, how does the romance F that up? Because that's the reality, right? Like you fall in love with someone and it just messes up your plans. How does it mess up your plans? And I could see that being a thing. Suddenly she's getting like when I'm telling stories from her perspective is, she's getting these looks and these whispers and things like, and Marco's like oblivious to it. To him, it's like, that's my girl, he's just not, he's not comprehending the issues of it because he's a multi-world champion. So in my head, these characters are, kind of like a Liam Hamilton falling for his new racing engineer or something like that. And then, Kimi Antonelli is actually the little race car driver who's going to replace Lewis Hamilton because he's moving to Ferrari. Obviously, in my story, he's not Lewis Hamilton exactly, but I would model him off of kind of this idea of, it could also be somebody like Sebastian Vettel or Kimi Räikkönen, anyone who has like won a bunch of championships and is now looking for what's next. A lot of these drivers, once they kind of settle down, start having kids, they kind of like, a few years later, they're like, oh, why am I still racing? Why am I still, I mean, I already have millions. Like, do I need more millions and be away from the kids and like miss out? Because they sacrifice so much to do this. They literally start at about the age of 8 years old training in karting. And yes, it's a lot of money. It's a privileged sport. But as far as like, if you're shoved into this by your parents, it's a lot like gymnastics to me, like Olympic gymnastics for girls, where like your fate is decided when you're a kid. And there's lots of people who go out for it who don't make it, and et cetera, et cetera. And ooh, that's a story idea there. Like some racer who was really good in F2, and then like they bring him on to like some nothing team in the middle of the season or something like that. That would be kind of cool. But at any rate, what they sacrifice is during their racing times, like nonstop, they're constantly doing marketing things and stupid stuff on social media. And then they have to do the race training. They have to watch what they eat nonstop because they can't weigh very much. So they have to practice. Like some of them have actually struggled with anorexia and bulimia. Valtteri Bottas came out about that, about having an eating disorder a few years ago. They're just now starting to kind of come out more and more about the mental health strain. It's an insane sport. It's an insane sport. Oh, very cool. You were at the Jota Porsche unveiling in August. Very, very cool. I'm going to use it. Love it. Okay. And Jacqueline says she's more character driven. So, you could do that. You could do what I'm doing right now with the revision on your character profiles. And I think that that's a class maybe for someone who's more character driven than I am. Once I now have the plot, now I can start to figure out these characters and see like what they're going, because like now I understand their story world. Now I can understand who they are. And then their idiosyncrasies as I'm building them will then reinform the plot to tweak a little bit. So for example, I think I might make Sophia more respected than, because it's really hard as a woman to move up. So I want her to basically come from some like fabled racing engineer. Her dad's a former driver, etc., like that. So that basically, even though she's having this romance, it's not a like, for example, Kelly Piquet and Max Verstappen are together and having a baby. But Kelly Piquet is Nelson Piquet's daughter. So she's been around racing her entire life. And scandalously, she was dating Daniel Kvyat, who was in Red Bull Racing. Max replaced Daniel on the racetrack. Daniel had a baby with Kelly, and then they broke up in 2019. In 2020, Max and Kelly are dating. And so Max and Kelly have been dating since 2020. And Penelope, the little girl who was born in 2019, she's now 5 years old. And Max and Kelly are having a baby together. So it's like this racing family and like dynasties and things like that. Like it is so ripe for stuff. Okay, am I the only one who has to know what these characters are doing before I know that they are? Everyone's like, I'm character driven. You build plot from their character flaws and needs. Yeah, no, I have the plot and then I go make the flaws that I need for the plot. Character driven too. I think I just don't like people that much. I almost always know my characters before I know what they are doing. Nope, my characters surprise me all the damn time. As a matter of fact, book 3 wasn't even supposed to happen in my series. It was like book 4 was supposed to be book 3, but when I tried to write book 3, the character kept saying like, no, I need to go talk to my daddy. And so book 3 like came about because the character was like, no, I'm not behaving. I very rarely know my characters until they're behaving on the scene. No, sometimes I write the cute meat and plot idea and then figure out what kind of characters would make that work. Yep. Yes, they still surprise me as the plot unfolds. Absolutely. Yeah, so my characters still surprise me, but I don't know their astrological sign. I don't know their favorite foods. I look at a character sheet and I get hives. I don't want to fill that out. Yeah, memes is saying I need a world first and then I create the characters for the world. That's how I am. I need a world first and then kind of like who comes to mind that I want to watch explore this world through. So, all right, everyone. Well, hopefully we've given you lots of toys to play with, AI toys, yesterday and today. We have, you know, we saw Plot Drive, and then we saw some other things that you can do with ChatGPT projects. Then you guys saw Sora in action. This early morning, we went through the thinking models, and we saw some differences between Google Gemini and O1. This afternoon, we took a deep look at like some research stuff that you can do. So even as I'm doing this F1 stuff, imagine the F1 report you would get from the Google Deep Research, or even from Perplexity for that matter. So doing research on things, if you're not that familiar with a genre, can really help you get a leg up. And then tonight, hopefully I help show how you can hack that revise functionality inside of Raptorite to iterate with the AI in ways that we haven't really been iterating so much. So it's a little bit kind of like doing chain of thought, but you're giving it context and highlighting so it knows what parts it has to use. Remember, if you want the whole document to be in that revise prompt, you need to toggle on the document. That's how it injects in. If you don't toggle on the document, only the part you have highlighted is revised. So it's like revised in a silo. That's different than the functionality in Plot Drive. Plot Drive, you have a little bit more versatility with that, and we'll be looking at that in January when that that product is ready to hit the market. So, okay. Thank you so very, very much. Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a great time. Those in the mastermind, I'll see you tomorrow. And we can go ahead and hop in the Zoom room for a quick little after party. So I'll see you guys in lab room. Bye.